Hi, this is Dr. Darren Schmidt at the Nutritional Healing Center of Ann Arbor. And this video is a longer video about how to actually design a whole food supplement based on the research that was performed by medicine before World War II. All of research in medicine before World War II was on feeding studies. So they would take diets and take out vitamins. Here's a book, actually. It's called the A Vitaminosis. This is from 1944. It's the third edition, and they take out vitamins out of foods and feed it to pigs or cats or something, and they would watch the health go downhill, and they would put those foods back in and watch the health come back up again, and then they would try to figure out, well, what chemical was in there that they had taken out and then put back in. And this was a kind of research that was done by all of medicine before World War II. And we have this pre-World War II feeding studies show three things. Number one, vitamins are large wholes, and fractions of the whole were insufficient for health or healing. So as an example, vitamin C is a big molecule. It's got copper in it, and it's got other things, other factors. And I've said this to dozens of people online. Ascorbic acid is not vitamin C. Ascorbate is not vitamin C. That's one tiny molecule. It's part of vitamin C. So vitamins are large wholes, W-H-O-L-E-S. Number two, what we learned from these feeding studies is that eating an organ feeds the organ. So that's called organotherapy. Organotherapy is better than taking hormones, whether synthetic or natural. So we have two approaches here for health. One is you go to a doctor and they'll give you a hormone. Well, you need the hormone because your organ's not working right. And your organ's not working right for several reasons. One reason may be that you need the nutrients of the organ. Another reason might be that it's toxic with heavy metals or chemicals or something like that. So back in the 1930s, the doctors back then knew that giving a hormone, whether synthetic or natural, was a shameful act. And the doctors who were ethical would actually feed organs to the patients. These are all components to designing and building a whole food supplement. Number three, this is the last one. Whole vitamin deficiency causes frank disease. So frank meaning obvious. So back then in these studies, the animals that were fed a diet that caused a condition of avitaminosis had symptoms like heart. They had heart problems. They had stillbirths. They were sterile. They had bone deformities when they were born. That's frank disease. And what you want to do is get all the vitamins in their whole food form. Now, these are the vitamins. Now, the way that they found them was they would subtract a certain food from a diet and then watch their health go down and add that food back in, and their health would come back up. So what was in that particular food, they'd have to figure out like chemically, and they would call it vitamin X. And then once they had a greater understanding of what this vitamin X was, they would assign it a letter. So that's how you got vitamin A and B and C. So these are the vitamins: vitamin A, B, C, D, E, F, G, J, K, P, T, and U. So if you go to a store, you can't find vitamin U, but it's actually a very healing and soothing and anti-inflammatory vitamin found in cabbage. Vitamin T is in sesame seeds. Vitamin P is a healing bioflavonoid that reduces inflammation and heals tissue. So all these vitamins, whether you know about them or not, there's probably more, but the research was over in the 1950s, and as a medical society or as a health-based research society, we haven't continued studying the vitamins. So there's a lot more to be learned, and it's not in the budgets at Pfizer or at Merck. They don't have it in their budget. So I wrote FDA here because this statement is FDA illegal. The FDA does not agree with this, and they will put me or you in jail if you say it. So you can't say this. The FDA says if there is anything that affects a disease, it's a drug. Meaning, if I give somebody, and they've tried this, if I give somebody an apricot and it reverses cancer, just making something up, the FDA will say that the apricot is a drug, and it needs to go through the approval process, and then drug companies can then manufacture apricots. It's completely backwards. It's completely screwy. It goes against nature. It goes against you. It goes against the laws of nature. So that's our lovely FDA for you. And then I wrote antioxidants here because this is another thing that the AMA did back in the 30s. Like, let me give you this example. Vitamin E was discovered in 1921 and 1922 by a team of researchers. And then in the early 30s, the AMA, which at the time was the fourth arm of the government. We had the president, the Congress, the court system. Sorry, brain fart there. And the fourth arm of the government was the AMA. They were extremely powerful, and of course they weren't part of the government. They were just extremely powerful, and people called them the fourth arm of the government. But the AMA declared that vitamin E is an antioxidant, which it's not. They declared vitamin C is an antioxidant, which it's not. What they're saying is they're belittling the power of these vitamins. And they said, well, these vitamins only protect other vitamins while in the body. So that's a shameful act on the AMA. And everybody who talks about antioxidants, they're caught up in the misrepresentation that the AMA did to these vitamins. It's quite a shame. These vitamins are much more than antioxidants. Okay, moving on to this one. So how to design a whole food supplement. So I'm talking about this company right here, Standard Process. The guy that created this company, his name was Royal Lee. He was a dentist. His first product was 1929. And his mentors lived in the late 1800s. And they were trying to figure out, like, how if you feed a liver to a dog, what's in the liver that helps that dog get better. And that's organotherapy. And then when the synthetic vitamins came out in the early 30s, and all that research on those synthetic vitamins, that's what most people did. But Royal Lee continued the research from the late 1800s from his mentors. And he designed whole food supplements. And here's how you design them. You put multiple organs in one pill. So if you have a liver problem and you need to eat liver, it's not enough. You have to eat thyroid, and you got to eat adrenals, because all these organs work together. Number two, add in multiple plants. And these plants, they have the nutrients for that organ, whether it's minerals or vitamins. Royal Lee had figured out what plants are necessary to heal specific organs. And then number three, minerals to activate enzymes. And then you can also add enzymes too, but enzymes don't work unless there's minerals involved. So here's an example of vitamin B whole food supplement. These are ingredients in the vitamin B supplements from Dr. Royal Lee. So we have organs, liver, stomach, adrenal, and then we have nutritional yeast in that supplement. And then here's the foods: beets, defatted wheat germ, sweet potato, carrot, rice bran, sunflower lecithin, which is a type of fat, lecithin. And I underlined 4 of these items. You'll see me underlining in these next sheets, and I'll tell you at the end why I underlined those 4 items. So now Dr. Royal Lee also put in some synthetic ingredients in there. He put in riboflavin, inositol, para-aminobenzoic acid, and the reason why is because you can get a quick response by taking riboflavin. So whereas when you're eating whole food, it takes longer. So he has both some synthetic, but mostly whole food, so that you can feel better quickly, and then over the course of the long term, continue to get better and actually heal the organs up. So here's a vitamin E whole food supplement. And the organs that are in there are orchic, which is testicles, adrenal, spleen, liver, and then RNA, which is comes from nutritional yeast. It can also come from brain. And back then, or actually now, both can be used. And then the plants are dried pea vine juice. So the vines that the peas hang on, and you juice those, and then you dry the juice. Beetroot, and then oat flour. So I underline liver for the vitamin E. Here's the vitamin F whole food supplement. Vitamin F stands for fat. This is a fat supplement. And here's the adrenals in it. Bovine liver fat, bovine liver, bovine prostate, and bovine orchic, which is testicles. The testicles are put into supplements so that nutrients will cross through barriers and actually penetrate into tissues. So just imagine sperm coming from testicles. What do? They penetrate. Well, when you consume orchic, bovine cow testicles, it allows all these other nutrients to cross through barriers and into tissues. These are the plants that are in the F supplement: defatted wheat germ, carrot, sweet potato, oat flour, and flaxseed oil. And then here's some of the synthetic nutrients to speed up recovery and to keep people happy and going while they're healing. Ascorbic acid, that's actually also a preservative too. Calcium and magnesium, those are minerals for activation of enzymes. Here's the vitamin C whole food supplement. Here's the organs, here's the plants. Veal bone, bovine adrenal, nutritional yeast, and bovine bone. Adrenals are filled with vitamin C. That's how Eskimos got their vitamin C, is they would chop up the adrenals of moose into as many pieces as there were people in the tribe, and they would all eat a little bit of adrenal. Otherwise, they weren't eating oranges and lemons because they're Eskimos. And then here's the plants: dried buckwheat leaf and seed, alfalfa. That has a lot of minerals in it too because the alfalfa plant digs really, the roots go deep, deep down in the dirt and pulls up tons of minerals from the dirt. Mushroom, defatted wheat germ, echinacea, rice bran, and then sunflower lecithin, which is a fat from sunflower. So those ones that I underlined, they're right here: bovine liver, nutritional yeast, defatted wheat germ, and rice bran. Now, the most common whole foods in standard processed products are these four. They address nutritional deficiency lactic acidosis. So the foundation of these products are reversing lactic acidosis, which is the single most common mechanism of chronic disease. It's a vitamin deficiency in the liver, causing a buildup of toxicity in the blood, causing a deficiency of oxygen in the blood, causing a dilation of arteries, causing a slowness of circulation, and then that causes at the capillary beds an engorgement of the capillaries of toxic hypoxic blood that's going really slowly, and then you get cell death because they're starved. You get cell starvation. When it happens with muscles tighten up. That's called rigor mortis. You can get a little rigor mortis over your heart, and now you're having a heart attack. If it happens in your the other muscles, you get tight muscles, tension, fibromyalgia, chronic aches and pains. If it happens in your brain goes crashing down into horrible thoughts of fear, depression, worry, doubt, anxiety, violent thoughts, etc., etc. So the basis of these supplements from Standard Process is treating lactic acidosis. And then on top of that, throw in organs and plants to heal the specific organs you're trying to heal for those specific conditions. So if you have a circulatory/heart problem, you need lots of vitamin C and vitamin E. But you want the whole food. You want the plants and the organs, not just ascorbic acid and not just alpha-tocopherol. So that's an example of how you work with these products. And these products separate themselves from all other products. There's nothing like these at health food stores. You can't get these at a health food store. You got to get them from a professional like myself. You can order them through us online if you're a patient. And just a few weeks ago, I set it up so that you can contact us and you can become a patient. It's a lot cheaper now than what it used to be. We have to talk to you over the phone about what's going on with your health. We'll put you on a program. And of course, there's dietary changes that you need to do. And I have videos on the dietary changes. So those are the two things that we use to heal people up: food supplements and diet changes. And those are it. Those are the two tools to get your body back into shape.